My name is Sherry Phillips. I'm the conservator for contemporary art at the Art Gallery of Ontario, and I'm working on Michael Snow's sculpture entitled Seated Sculpture. This piece was exhibited outdoors for a short period of time, and because of that, it developed differential corrosion layers on the work, so that the bottom area was more corroded than the top section of the piece. And visually, it didn't quite work with what the artist wanted to represent with this artwork. So we talked between the artist, the curator, and myself, and we decided to try and reduce the corrosion layers that we found on the bottom. Now, the corrosion is essentially, it's commonly known as rust, and what that is it's an iron oxide, and you can develop this when the material, the metal in this case, is exposed to moisture in the environment, and that is what I would expect because this was exhibited outdoors for a period of time. So, however, we didn't want to return this to, we didn't want it to look brand new. So what we elected to do is just try and reduce the amount of corrosion product and make the overall appearance of the work a little bit more uniform, but still keeping it looking natural, as if it is an aged piece of sculpture. Part of maintaining the overall integrity of the piece and is maintaining some of the original features that the artist had left, which you can see in the corner of the piece. It's like a grease pencil.
You know, obviously it was never really cleaned up. It's just the way the metal came.
Exactly.
You know, there's all the notation and that kind of stuff.
And that's typically used when the roll of steel is actually on the line. And a worker on the line will mark each roll with certain identification marks. Now, Michael elected not to remove that in the first place, so I had to work very carefully in and around each letter and number to not disturb that original grease pencil, but still reduce the appearance of the corrosion that is there and remains to a degree. When this first came into the collection a number of years ago, we were talking about having the whole thing refinished. And then, 10 years later, it's a slightly different viewpoint. And he said, no, what I really want is just to get rid of that bright orange rust. I said, no problem. So that's when I had to sit down and figure out how to reduce it. So actually, it worked out really well. I don't have to use solvents. It's all mechanical. So it worked really, really well, actually, for me and the artwork.